those details really makes the difference between the average and the premium. So if you haven't put the work into, for example, thread orientation, the material that the shoe is made of, and you didn't divide the lacquer parts from the more diffuse parts in a most perfect way, it's not something that only catches our eye, it's something that audience knows and feels, because we all know what the good is. We were very lucky from the beginning when we were outsourced and working with other studios to be in the project for really premium and really big brands. So from the start, that put us into position to make our craft as good as possible. And it also aligns with our own expectations of our own work. What does it mean? For example, our work ended up in the projects for Nike, Adidas, Puma, or other industries like car industries for Mercedes, BMW, Cartier watches, and so on. So when you work in projects like for these brands, the work has to be spot on. Every detail, every texture, every material, everything has to shine and to be spotless and perfect. So we developed experience and expertise during those years in crafting the impeccable details. And one of the best showcases is that stuff that we did 13 or 14 years ago still holds on and still works good as the asset, even though tools have evolved and we have all the different tech. Work that we did over a decade ago is still quality enough to perform at these days. In particular, those details really makes the difference between the average and the premium. So if you haven't put the work into, for example, thread orientation, the material that the shoe is made of, and you didn't divide the lacquer parts from the more diffuse parts in a most perfect way, it's not something that only catches our eye, it's something that audience knows and feels, because we all know what the good is. We don't have to be experts for that. So that's why it's important on the premium level to put in that work for the brand to stand out with the quality. And the more the more premium brand is, the more it requires execution on that high level. So every project is different, every brand is different, every client is different, and depending on that, it also depends how much will you iterate with the client, in which aspect, in the aspect of the story, in the aspect of the quality of the materials, if you work on the products. So that's something, when we speak about the feedbacks and iterations, that's pretty much something that we define at the start of the project with the client, and then we are flexible during the project when we know how it goes and we get to know each other. We get more flexible into assessing time into more important aspects of the project. One of the biggest turnovers in the career of a lifespan of our studio so far was the point where when we started listening more to our clients. Because when you start the studio, you basically started as an artist, and as an artist, you want to satisfy your own artistic side, whatever that may be, or even technical side. So you want to craft thing that's best for you, hoping that it's best for the brand at the same time, which might not be the case. So us at the beginning and plenty of studio, one of the biggest mistakes is that we get to craft work for ourselves, and that's really not what it is about. It is about crafting a work for the client, listening to the client, listening to what their problems are, and giving your expertise in a service of solution for that problem. And once you marry those two, then you have the best results. Thanks for watching. Hit me up on the LinkedIn if you like this content and you want more. Please subscribe, and let's keep in touch.